the tot measure. Tot measures, or jiggers, are used to measure out small quantities of liquid and are very popular tools for making cocktails and any mixed drinks in a bar. This is because you are often working with very expensive spirits and liqueurs behind the bar, and the tot measure allows you to consistently make sure that you are not pouring too much or too little of the ingredients into the cocktail or mixed drink. What this means is that every time you need to measure out ingredients for a cocktail or mixed drink, you will be using your tot measure. In this lesson, we will be looking at what a tot measure looks like, how to use a tot measure, and the rules of a tot measure. Let's begin with what a tot measure looks like. Like most items of bar equipment, there are many variations in type and style of tot measure. The traditional style of tot measure is stainless steel, with two small, differently sized buckets on either side, which are opposite each other, creating the shape of an hourglass. Usually, one of these buckets will measure out a regulation tot, while the other will either measure out a double or half tot. When using a tot measure, it is very important that you follow these steps correctly and carefully. Otherwise, you may end up making the fatal mistake of either underpouring, serving too little of an ingredient to your guest, or overpouring, serving too much of an ingredient to your guest. Step 1. Place your mixing tin or glass onto a bar mat. Step 2. Hold the tot measure above the glass or tin that you will be using and fill the measure with the ingredient. What do you think is the point of pouring like this? The correct answer is that if you were to spill any of the ingredient, instead of it going to waste in the bar mat, it can fall into the glass or tin and be used. While it is suggested that you pour over a glass or tin, when you have practiced extensively and are an expert pourer, you can pour in whichever way is most comfortable for you. And step 3. Once the measure is full, gently tilt it into the mixing tin or glass. The tipping method involves holding the tot measure between your thumb and index finger like a small cup. To avoid spilling, you will need to move from the holding to the tipping action quickly and without hesitation. You will notice that if you tip too slowly, the liquid will run down the side of the glass and spill on the bar. A quick, precise movement is the way to go. The flicking method involves holding the tot measure between your index and middle finger, with the tot measure resting in the palm of your hand. This method is most common in double tot measures. To flip the tot measure, you will need to raise your index finger above the middle finger with a rotation of the wrist, like this, in order to tilt the tot measure quickly towards the glass. Again, doing this slowly and hesitating will cause lots of spills, so be sure to practice to find your perfect speed. If you do not have a tot measure like the ones you will see in this course, you may use measuring spoons or a standard measured shot glass. No matter what you use, make sure that it is able to measure accurately when making your drinks. Let's finish off with the rules of a tot measure. When using a tot measure, there are a few simple rules that are never to be broken. Firstly, always make sure that you are pouring into a tot measure over either a glass or shaker tin to avoid wasting if you spill. And secondly, when using the tot measure to pour multiple ingredients into a cocktail or mixed drink, always start with the cheapest ingredients first. This way, if you make some kind of mistake, be it spilling, knocking over the mixing tin or preparing the incorrect order, you won't have wasted the most expensive ingredients in your bar. This is a very clever little trick to save money should something go wrong by accident. By completing this lesson, you now know what a tot measure looks like, how to use a tot measure, and the rules of a tot measure. Enjoy using your tot measure correctly.